Welcome back, guys, to the chaotic world of Mel's Motors. We are super busy, so we're going to be doing some workshop upgrades. We need to make more space, so let's turn around a bit. So we've got this space behind me where it's our graveyard. We keep a lot of these bikes here, but we've got all that space above it. So the plan is to make another floor up there so we can utilise more workshop space. We're getting super busy with the motorcycles now. It's coming to the end of the season, but 2022 has been a very, very warm year, and motorcyclists are still riding and they still want their bike services done and they still want their tyres. So we need to make some more room, get a couple of more bike ramps in. Got 3 behind me at the moment, we need 2 more. We have got 6 car ramps here and an MOT bay. But the other workshop is crazy busy as well, so you can see there's no more room here to be utilised. So stay tuned and we'll show you how we're going to upgrade the workshop. So I've got all this steel work here. I bought this for a different project I was going to do, but now we're going to utilise it for next door. Use it as the beams for the structure. There will be some timber work going in there as well, but for now, whilst I've got this here, I might as well utilise it. So this is going to be the area. Thankfully up there we've got some brickwork, but there's actually a ledge up there. It's a bit difficult to see, but it's quite a substantial ledge. So the beams are going to come off there, so that is going to be our starting height. We're going to stick some steel work over there and come over this way, make the actual frame. Once the frame's set up, we can worry about putting the supporting beams across. Okay, I've got this plate which needs to go onto the wall over there so we could put the beam across to it. I started cutting it, it's too long with the reciprocating saw, but it was longer than my patience could handle. So now I've got the plasma cutter set up. Hopefully we'll get through that in a couple of minutes and get it back on the wall. Okay, brackets on the wall, took a little bit of persuading, but it's flush. We have this lip. This doesn't have to be mega tight because the forces being exerted on there are pulling down forces as opposed to pulling out forces. So as long as these are in reasonably tight, this isn't going anywhere. I had these discs lying around, so I've made a foot with it. This is going to be the upper plate, which is going to go to the bottom of this. I'm going to offset it vastly on here, so when I get the cross beam coming from across the wall there, it has something to sit on. So I've welded inside and out. It's come out reasonably good. Okay, pedestal on this end, foot on the other. We'll try and get it underneath this one then and try and measure the right distance from the wall to the floor. Okay, post is in. That was quite an effort to getting that in. One beam in, one beam to go. It's lying over there on the floor. So that's going to now have the part of the end cut so we can sit into the C section. So we'll cut the bottom and the top feet off so we can get the bar into the centre, and then we'll weld that in place, and then it will rest on top of that ledge up there, along with all the other beams that we put in. So that's taken quite a few hours today. Not so much doing in the work, but clearing a lot of the crap out from here, which is still there. As you can see, the workshop's chaos. There's my son helping me out, so we're making slow progress. It's Saturday today, so I think we're going to call that a day now. Okay, we've got the final beam in. It's resting on the wall. I've checked it for true, so that's true. I've done the measurements. Wall to here, this was about 6mm out, so I've pushed it over, so everything is square for 360 beams. So, time to order the beams. Right, so I've got all the timber in now. Got a new staircase. We're going to put the staircase here now, so I'm going to have to move that post over a little bit more. Well, didn't really have a plan for a staircase. I was going to try and put it down there, but it's not going to fit down there. So it's going to go up in this gap where the Suzuki tank is, up against the wall there. And then we'll get all those beams in. Guys are bringing them all in now. New flooring to go on as well. So instead of mechanical work now, we're doing woodworking. I've had the piece cut off as a template. Saves us faffing about all the time. So we're going to mark out. Going to drill a hole here. Noisy buggers. Drill a hole here, and then we're going to jigsaw to it, and then just jigsaw this corner off, and that will just go into the steel beams. Using 8-inch, so we get less flex on the beams. 6-inch would have sufficed, but we would have had sag in the centre, depending on what we put up there. Well, we were here till 8 o'clock last night. All the beams are in. They're roughly set in place, about 400 apart. This post is going to have to be moved over to where the steelwork is there. But, hit a snag. I measured from the corner of the wall to the beam there, which is 860, which is the same width as the staircase. So we can dump it down there. And then I noticed that I'd overlooked that extra 4 centimetres of flooring there, so which means that beam is now in the wrong place, which means the staircase won't fit in that gap. So we've got the steelwork and the timber in between these two conduits coming down to the plugs. This still doesn't need to be butted up against this, so I'm going to move that over to the other side. The only problem is I'm going to struggle to get noggings in for this end piece, but I need the end piece so I can screw the stairs to it, otherwise I have nothing to screw to it. It's all a challenge, but we're getting there. Okay, I'm just working with the staircase now. It's a tad too high, so just measuring it from floor to where I need to be. So I need to lose 2 treads at the top to match the level floor over there. I've just cut the feet. I've just used the spirit level on the treads, and the feet need adjusting a little bit. I've got my transmission jack just holding it up for the minute. So we're about to weld the beam to the wall plates. Let's see where we are. I'm having trouble getting rid of this gap. I've tried hammering it from the other end with a sledgehammer, it's not moving. My next course of action is now to weld a plate to it and this stud and try and wind it closer so that I don't have such a big gap, so I can try and weld it and not fill the gap. Well, that worked. There is a slight gap there. It's only because we've got this curve in the corner here, so I can't get it exactly into that corner because I have a square corner and a round corner. Square on the beam, round on the plate. So it's close enough that I can start to fill that gap, a small gap, with the weld. So we're all welded, top, middle, bottom. One corner fixed. The cross beam we have going from the wall to here, we just need to make sure that's square before I weld that in, and then we can screw the post in the ground. That doesn't need any major fixing, you know, the weight of the upstairs will keep that in place, so just some small screws will hold that, no worries. I'm going to have to put a plate on that, bolted to the wall, so that's fixed, and then we can weld that to the little pedestal I made earlier. So we're getting there. Okay, so I've got that secured to the corner, plates welded on. This corner is all welded, there and there. The base plates are screwed to the floor. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4 corners, if they're corners, yeah, corners, yes. 4 corners, all secure. So now let's put the staircase in, which is over there. In this corner here, once that's up, we can go up there and start putting the noggins in. Okay, staircase is in, cut to size, screwed in, tied to the rest of it, that's all good. Just sticking some more beams here up against the wall because we had nothing at the end. I've just used some beams to go underneath the other beams to hold the wood up in the right place. So it saves me having to hold on to it or faff about with measurements. They're all at the same height, so ideal. So I'll stick a few screws in that, that'll be done, and then we can start putting the floor, actually put the noggins in, then put the floor down. Okay, we've got the noggins in, floor's starting to go down, we're just marking where the screws have got to go in. There's my son doing bits and pieces. Workshop's chaos at the moment, so all those tools and units have got to come up here. the upstairs is done. The floor is laid. These auto feed screw guns are absolutely amazing for getting flooring like this done. You know, you stick 1,000 screws in without the effort of hold one, screw one, hold one, screw one. I bought these a few years back for some projects and they've been so useful that I haven't bothered getting rid of them. Staircase is in. Obviously for safety reasons I'm going to have to get a hand railing at some point. Not quite sure how I'm going to finish the walls off here, whether I'm going to go floor to ceiling. There's been quite a few robberies locally with some of the units here got broken into a few days ago, and they robbed all their tools. You know, it's people's livelihood. You know, all these things here, you know, cost a considerable amount of money. I'm a woodworking fan, so I enjoy using tools like this. So I have my my abundance of those tools, as well as you know, these expensive tools. So safeguard them the best we can. So if I go floor to ceiling, I can put a secure door in here and, you know, try and slow down whoever comes in. Thankfully our alarm system is has got a police call on there, so anyone breaks in, you know, the police will be on their way. You're probably wondering what this red thing is here. It is a tuk-tuk. There is going to be a video on that, so if you're interested, you know, stick around and we'll get that sorted out. Well, it's time for carpeting. We're so privileged to have a carpet company next door. These are some of their offcuts, so we get to carpet up here for free, which is absolutely delightful. It's a lot more economical than having to buy more carpet, or flooring or whatever we're going to put down here. So my son's unrolling it. I've got some spray glue over there. We'll just see what we can do. It'll be a bit patchy, but free is free at the end of the day. Okay, one half is done. Rest to go. Okay, from the 3 bits we had, we've managed to cover it mostly. We've got a little bit left there, which isn't an issue for today. I borrowed next door's forklift, so we need to get all that stuff from down there up here. It's going to go against that wall and over there. I can't build anything there yet, otherwise I'll struggle to get anything up here. So once everything's up here, then I can start making a secure boundary. Well, it's given us a lot more space. It's thankfully I'm quite short, so I'm not going to bang my head on that, but Luke's 6 foot, so he may have an issue. All his lights are going to be changed anyway. These are like 400 watt bulbs, which are absolutely crazy to try and run in the workshop. But we're quite blessed in here because we've got really bright skylights, as you can see. Electricity bill in here is almost nothing. Next door, these are all old. Really struggle to get light in there, so the lights are on all the time. Well guys, hope you enjoyed the video of the upstairs build. Not quite finished, we need some safety barriers up there, but we'll get around to doing that at some point before someone falls down. As always, if you enjoyed the video, hit the like button, the subscribe button, the bell notification so you're notified next time I upload a video. Take care guys.